welcome to What the Hey, where I'm your host of What the Hey, and I try to answer questions. Yeah! So on today's question of What the Hey, we're asking why the hey do dogs eat grass? Now, to go into this, I kind of wanted to explain the question because I can relate to it, kind of. So I have my dog Toby, and sometimes when he's, sick, he eats grass, and that's why we assume he's eating the grass. But I'm gonna go into why it's kind of theorized why dogs eat grass. So like I said, hi, welcome to What the Hey, I'm your host, and we're going into the question of why the hey do dogs eat grass, and I'm going to go into the different theories that are mainly assumed to be the correct answer to this question. One of the theories isn't really the one that I stand behind because it kind of doesn't make sense, but one of the theories is that dogs like the taste of grass. Now, if you were ever a kid and you decided that you wanted to taste one of the most bountiful things on the earth, you ate a piece of grass. Now let me ask you, did it taste good? You may or may not remember because it may or may not have been a while ago. If it was today, please let me know how grass tastes because I don't know. So yeah, that's one of the theories behind it. So this theory is kind of a two-parter. There's one part that kind of is separate, and then the second part is kind of part of the first part of the theory, but they're kind of two separate theories. So the first part of the theory is that dogs are omnivores, therefore they can eat plants, which is technically correct. So before there were a bunch of different breeds of dogs, and there were more limited types of dogs, the dogs would eat both meat and plants, which was acceptable. It was fine. We don't necessarily nowadays think of dogs eating grass, but that's just how it is. So this theory kind of goes into the previous one in the thought of undomesticated dogs like wolves would go after prey like deer and other animals that would eat plants and grass. So this part's kind of gross, but when the wolves or dogs or whatever would eat their prey, including their stomach and internal organs, the prey would most likely have eaten grass or something and it would be inside their stomach. So when the wolves or undomesticated dogs would eat their prey, they'd also be eating the grass, therefore kind of including it into their diet. So it's kind of like a trained habit, kind of. So some people basically just theorize that dogs eat grass because they've been kind of trained to by their ancestors, essentially. So this theory goes into one that's in the future, but dogs eat grass to help them with their upset stomach or gas, which is mainly what I'm kind of behind, and I'm gonna go more into that later with another theory, but that's one that people just have. Another theory is that dogs are just bored. If your dog is sitting at the park or is in your backyard just chilling, they might be like, hey, I know what I can do, I can eat grass. So there may not necessarily be anything wrong with your dog, they're just like, hey, I want to eat something. It's like when humans get out a bag of chips just to eat them because they're bored. So this next theory is that dogs just like the texture of grass, which I mean, when you kind of rub a piece of grass, like a blade of grass, it does kind of have a texture. So some people are like, maybe dogs just like that, and I guess that's fine. So this theory is what people speculate to be the main reason why dogs eat grass. So if your dog eats grass and then throws up or eats grass while seeming sick, the reason is because they apparently potentially do this on purpose because when they eat the grass, they tend to not eat it completely. To put this in human perspective, have you ever eaten a chip or something, or just something that's relatively big and then you chomp it down, except you don't chomp it down completely, so when you swallow it, you can feel it going down? So the idea is that dogs will purposely not eat the entire piece of grass so that when it goes down its esophagus and then goes into its stomach, the stomach senses that and becomes irritated and essentially makes the dog throw up so that they feel relieved from whatever sickness they may be having at the time. So I do agree with that because if a dog isn't feeling good, it's gonna find a way to feel better, which essentially is what happens when they throw up via eating grass. Some people get really concerned when they see their dog eating grass, but it's not really a problem unless there are pesticides or your grass is being treated. So that's a reason why dogs shouldn't eat grass, in the harm of possible chemicals. Other than that, that's basically it. I thought this was really cool because my dog sometimes eats grass when he's feeling bad, so it makes sense. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you feel like asking a question, feel free to. I write them down in my journal and then eventually get to them. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye!